Um, Hello, welcome to our presentation today. My name is Robyn Landau. I am a neuroaesthetics and well-being expert. I work in the intersection of art, design, and technology to understand how we can better inform these practices with science to improve well-being and help our everyday experiences of the world and our overall state of being. I'm part of Arigami UK. We are an interdisciplinary research team working at the forefront of science and technology and well-being, working in a very interdisciplinary way across industries with varying experts to bridge the gap between science and real innovation applications. So today we're going to be looking at beyond the hype, the wellness revolution. We're going to be looking at beyond trends for trend's sake. What are the current gaps in the market, and how can we fill those with evidence-based solutions, specifically focusing on corporate wellness? So as I said, we are an interdisciplinary research consultancy. We power innovation programs for startups and corporates and leading labs, giving them access to our huge range of researchers, experts that we work with. And we really believe that validation maximizes impact. So we believe that with evidence-based solutions, risk-controlled innovation can be possible, and we can be really nimble in our thinking and our flexibility by integrating a sort of living labs mentality to understand what science insights exist today and how can we use those and better apply them more quickly to various applications across the technology and design spaces. So as we said, we believe wellness innovators can really scientifically validate products, services, and environments, and we're bridging the gaps between those two elements. So we use this applied minds of our network of specialists. We really make sense of the latest technology, and we're laying the foundation for really results-driven and risk-controlled innovation. We really believe that we can accelerate science through delivering human impact, human-centered design, and bringing a number of minds together across a similar discipline and topic in order to see things from a multimodal lens. And that is really what we do at our core. Multimodal integration of both modalities as well as schools of thinking. And this is where we're pushing the boundaries and pushing the lens further. So you can just see here some of the range of clients we work with and some further information about ourselves. But what we're really here to talk about today is the overview of the wellness economy. As we said at Arigami, we're really looking to better inform the effectiveness and the efficiency of the wellness economy. Currently, it's in 2008, it was actually quoted at $4.5 trillion globally, with loads of those on global health expenditures. But you can see here that it isn't an equal playing field. We have a lot of the leisure industries coming up on top in regards to where that revenue is being generated, including the spa industry, wellness tourism, and wellness real estate. Meanwhile, stress and anxiety is on the rise, and it doesn't appear that any of these aspects are really helping to combat the problem, especially in the workplace. You can see here that workplace wellness is not one of the top revenue growth leaders. There's still major inefficiencies there, and meanwhile, 56% of employees say stress and anxiety affects their performance. 51 said it negatively impacts their relationship with coworkers as well as their personal relationships. So while there's huge projected growth to 66 billion by 2022 and a huge growing percentage, 10% of the world's workers only have access to wellness programs. We see these at big corporates who are implementing these, but what about everybody else in the world? Especially even the younger demographic who aren't necessarily in the workplace yet. We're seeing Gen Z and millennials actually have the largest amount of anxiety. But the programs are not in place in a way that is effective. Mental health problems in the workplace cost the economy approximately £70 billion annually. And this is a result of absenteeism, reduced productivity, sick days, healthcare claims, etc. So we can see here, as we stated earlier, the way that the market is segmented is not equal. You can obviously see here at the top that workplace wellness is only 1.1% of all the segmentation. And we're really looking at Arigami to push the dial with this to really help implement more effective and evidence-based programs so that more of the market can be taken up by this. And we don't need the things as much about personal care and beauty because we are we're healthier from within. We have a healthier holistic approach, and all of these aspects can better combat the way that the revenue is distributed. So why is a better workplace wellness needed? Well, the population is aging. The world's 3.2 billion workers are increasingly getting unwell. They're getting old, they're suffering more chronic disease, they're stressed and unhappy, and they're sometimes unsafe at work. There's huge costs of this involved. In the U.S. alone, it was estimated that 2.2 trillion each year is happening as a result of this, and that's 12% of the GDP. We expect this to actually be higher worldwide. And we know that there's a huge now impact on the healthcare systems as a result of this. So we really need to do better to be more efficient. Currently in the place, workplace wellness solutions offer services like well-being assessments, personalized solutions, speakers, yoga, meditation therapists, and sleep scientists. We have apps that have access to therapists, access to doctors, medical screenings, body work and training, biometrics via apps and biomarkers, and wearable data, which we know is really effective. There's changing environments, which we're really pushing for further and calling and making a challenge out to the industry to do better in this way, to have smart offices, sensors, and HVAC systems. We know that there are a huge number of products and services that exist in terms of the technology, the frequencies that are emitted, and those subtle aspects of how those actually affect our body and mind that isn't necessarily felt but it's experienced subconsciously. And biophilia. So biophilia, obviously, in regards to indoor and outdoor nature, we know this restores our attention. And then finally, we have obviously sleep pods. And while sleep science is rising in terms of mainstream acceptance, socially, having a nap in the office still is just not there. So we need more effective wellness strategies. We need to reduce healthcare costs so there's widespread industry savings. So those budgets can be more effectively used, spread out to a broader set, and not necessarily going towards all those healthcare claims. We need to increase productivity, reduce absenteeism, especially as everybody is going back to work now. There's a huge amount of change anxiety that's taking place, and that really hinders productivity and increases absenteeism both inside and outside of the office. And we really need to have these ongoing savings by helping our employees stay healthier, whether they're actually physically in the office or whether they're working from home. And as they mitigate that changing landscape that is going to be happening throughout the year. And finally, we need to really reduce the stigma around mental health, get people talking about it more, understand that it's not a one-size-fits-all solution, and personalization is really key in terms of having something that's effective and that's speaking to each individual person. So as we said, we really believe the future of this change and effectiveness lives within certifying wellness innovations, understanding the scientific tools that are proven in order to reach those that impact and the effectiveness, and this married with also this personalized approach, having a human-centered design, not a one-size-fits-all solution, really catering to the needs of individuals. So what we know right now is that wearables can help motivate people. Obviously, this is a hugely growing industry. It is working, although there is certain technology that is using science-backed solutions more than others. We know that preventative solutions are required. Right now, we are really being very reactive and helping people once they're already sick. The more preventative we can be, the more healthy lifestyles that can be in place from this real behavioral change component. And also, we know personalization is key. What we don't know yet is that how effective, how many programs are out there that are really using hard, validated science to prove their effectiveness, to understand actually how long it takes to make the change. How do we keep people engaged in a program? How long do they need to be in that program in order to really see the results? And how do we keep them there? And additionally, these subtle drivers of the physiological responses. How does our environment and the world around us really affect our physiology on a day-to-day basis? And how do those things really affect the way we're feeling? How easy are they to shift? And how can we begin to build better landscapes, both externally and in built environments, that can really support this? So what we need and what we call for is more effective behavioral change. Something that we're doing at Arigami is more multimodal intervention testing. So looking at all the modalities and understanding how do they connect with each other, how are they integrating, and how are they working together to drive the feelings that we feel inside of our body, inside our psychology and our mind. And additionally, how do they individually contribute? How does the lighting affect the sound, or how does the sound affect the visuals? Are any one of these elements more dominant than the other? Or what kind of congruent interplay do they play in order to actually allow us to feel what we're feeling? So, of course, the need for validation is very clear. We really need to improve the claims and reduce the wasted costs. We need to reverse the symptoms of chronic illness. And we really need to improve program engagement. We know that this is really driven by intrinsic motivation. And with intrinsic motivation, we can boost our creativity, our productivity, and our desire to keep going. Right now, there is not enough personalized rewards for people that build that kind of intrinsic quality. And what we really need to do is increase the experience over the effort. We really want to help people know that this is an enjoyable experience and something they can integrate into their daily lives. It doesn't have to be work. And finally, we need a better ecosystem of wellness solutions. Here we talk about congruent design interventions. These are the multimodal connections I was talking about, and we really need these human-centered applications, understanding what is making the individual tick and what are the different profiles of people. Where are they in their wellness journey, and how far along are they in terms of what they're willing to adopt, how much time they have in their day, what is their circadian rhythm, where are they most triggered throughout the day, what kind of office environment do they sit in. These are really all the elements we need to consider. So we're working alongside a range of experts, as we said, as well as other market leaders who are our peers to really drive the future of workplace wellness forward. We really do believe that we are on the frontiers of big change, and with a little bit of time and the right science and the right tools and the right experts, we can really get there quickly. So we really believe we are transforming from this behavioral landscape to a transformative way. And as we said, this human-centered personalization element is really key. Instead of looking at one specific function, we want to be looking at all the psychological, the social, and the physiological approaches. And with this holistic approach to all of these elements, how they connect together, we can really lead the change for transformative design. So the Thrive Global app is a great example of this, using biometric data and wearables to really track things from an individual landscape and really looking at all these different inputs, not necessarily input from one domain, but looking at the range of inputs together and how do those affect the output of how you feel, how you exist in the world, the actions you take, the habits that you have, the thoughts and the processes within yourself that you embody. And finally, we really need wellness-driven ecosystems. So looking at this image here, this is the Edge building in Amsterdam for Deloitte. And this is really what we see as kind of championing the latest innovations and technologies for health-conscious spaces. You know, this has been designed with architects, with technologists, with engineers, with sound designers. And this is really what we're talking about when we talk about an interdisciplinary approach that we really are championing here at Arigami. So this building allows its employees, who all have access to it via an app, to better understand them as individuals, what temperature is ideal for their body type, what kind of lighting is necessary for the time in the day, where should they be recommended to sit based on how they're feeling in that day. Really a personalized approach that is really paving the way forward. And so this is where we need to be. we need to be thinking about things from all elements, not just a program, but how do we build these into the foundation of not only the culture that we embody within the institution, but also within the architecture, within the environments, and looking at the connections of the interplay of all these together. So we look forward to driving these innovations, this way of thinking, this research, and these schools of thought further with you. We look forward to learning more and talking more and connecting with everybody involved in this conference and beyond. You can find us at arigami.co.uk, and we look forward to speaking and working with you really soon.